LeBron is so easy to play. He's so fucking easy to play. He don't have any moves.
You can't hand check. You can't contest shots.
But now it's more like, I don't want to watch players coming down shooting 50-footers. That's not basketball. I mean,
you get close to the basket, a lot more of your shots will go in.
These are 6 NBA legends who watched today's game morph into something barely recognizable. And they're finally saying out loud what real basketball fans have been thinking for years now. Michael Jordan, Shaquille O'Neal, Charles Barkley, Dennis Rodman, Scottie Pippen, and Kevin Garnett stacked up 21 championships playing a brand of basketball that straight up does not exist anymore. And no, their criticism isn't old head nostalgia. It's a warning siren about how far the league has slipped. October 2025 brought something almost unheard of. Michael Jordan actually sat down for a real interview. NBC's Mike Tirico landed MJ for insights to excellence. And when the topic of load management came up, Jordan dropped a statement that should live rent-free in every modern player's head. When asked what he thinks about load management, the room went quiet, because everyone knew what was coming. The greatest player in basketball history made it clear he felt a responsibility to the fans sitting in the cheapest seat in the building. That single mindset explains the massive gap between his era and today's stars better than any stat sheet ever could.
What do you think of when you hear the term load management thrown around?
It shouldn't be needed, first and foremost. I never wanted to miss a game because it was an opportunity to prove. The fans are there to watch me play. I want to impress that guy, right? So if the guys are coming to watch me play, I don't want to miss that opportunity. Now, physically, if I can't do it, then I can't do it. But physically, if I can do it, and I just don't feel like doing it, that's a whole different lens.
For Jordan, showing up every night was not optional. It was the job. That mentality is basically extinct in today's NBA. Jordan played all 82 games in a season 9 different times and logged 80 or more games in 11 of his 14 seasons. Compare that to last season, when only 11 players in the entire league hit 82 games, proving participation has fallen off hard because showing up is now treated like a suggestion, not a duty. But here's the real kicker. Jordan didn't just call out the behavior. He exposed exactly why today's players don't have that hunger in the first place. When Mike Tirico asked him about the modern player mindset, Jordan broke it down in the simplest way possible, and it cut deep. Players today are locking in $200 million deals before they've won a single playoff series, before their games are fully built, before they've proven they can survive real pressure. The money shows up first, and the motivation never catches up. They get comfortable before they ever get great, and comfort wipes out excellence every single time. Jordan entered the league making under $1 million a year, getting knocked out by the Pistons over and over in the playoffs. And he used that pain as straight motivation. His first championship didn't come until he was 28, after years of falling short, and those losses taught him exactly what winning demanded. Now players get max contracts at 22 and act confused when veterans question their drive.
With that mindset to achieve greatness?
It's hard to be hungry when you have. Simple as that. I mean, if you don't have, you are willing to do whatever you have.
Take flack. When I take flack, a lot of people right now, you're too hard on the youngsters. Well, I'm just doing what was done to me. I can remember when I was averaging 30, 35 in LA, but we'd always get swept. And the great Kareem Abdul-Jabbar said, hey, you guys won a championship yet. Did I whine? Did I cry? Did I complain on social media? Nope, I didn't say anything because Kareem Abdul-Jabbar had G14 classification to say that. What am I going to do? So these guys now, they're pudding pops. You say something about them, church. That's what they are. So when he said that, when he gave me constructive criticism, I took it and I listened and I brought my game to another level.
Game 5 of the 1997 finals says everything about Jordan's mentality. He was hit with severe food poisoning, barely able to stand during timeouts, and still dropped 38 points to push the Bulls to another win. That's the bar he set. And it's a level most modern players can't even process, let alone reach. And if Jordan sounds disappointed, Shaquille O'Neal is flat out furious. Unlike most retired stars who play it safe, Shaq does not care who gets upset by the truth. He averaged 23.7 points per game for his career while being grabbed, held, and punished every night, all while winning 4 championships and wrecking his body in the process. Teams literally invented Hack-a-Shaq just to slow him down. That tells you the kind of physical punishment he survived, a level of toughness today's players can barely imagine. And in March 2021 on the Dan Patrick Show, Shaq finally put a name on the problem when he explained why modern players crumble under criticism from legends. That soft, sweet, melts under pressure energy, that's today's NBA according to people who actually lived real toughness. And that's why the Kareem point hits so hard. When one of the greatest players ever told Shaq he needed to improve, Shaq didn't whine, didn't subtweet, didn't cry to the internet. He locked in, took the criticism, and got better, period. Today's players hear the same level of criticism from legends with the same credentials and instantly flip into victim mode online. Same message, totally different reaction. And that's why the cycle never breaks, because nobody wants to admit they're not there yet. No accountability, no growth, just excuses stacked on excuses. April 2025 delivered Shaq's most brutal honesty yet on his big podcast when he addressed the state of today's NBA product. And he said what nobody in power wants to say out loud. The product is bad, the games are boring, defense is gone. Every team jacks up threes nonstop no matter who's on the floor. Ratings are slipping because fans are checking out, and league execs refuse to admit there's even a problem. Charles Barkley might be the most entertaining critic of modern basketball because he's funny, blunt, and painfully right. That's why his takes can't be brushed off as salty old player noise. On February 11th, 2015, Inside the NBA gave us Barkley's legendary anti-analytics rant, and it still hits today.
You know, people say Charles and I, we're ruining the game talking about the product, because the product is show me greatness. Like, y'all pay a lot of money for these shoes, and I want to see be great. And I'm going to always stay on them and motivate them to be great. They can call it hate I want, but I ain't sucking these out just because they're making $400 million. A lot of these can't play, and they know it.
Smart made up to try to get in the game because they had no talent. Because they had no talent to be able to play.
I agree with you on that.
So smart guys wanted to fit in. So they made up a term called analytics. Analytics don't work. What analytics did the Miami Heat have?
That clip blew up because it nailed exactly how spreadsheet basketball sucked the soul out of the game. The joke about never getting girls in high school sent analytics lovers into meltdown mode. But Barkley wasn't wrong. People who never played at a high level now run teams and think formulas beat feel, rhythm, and instinct. Here's the irony everyone points to. Barkley shot 26.6% from three for his career, one of the worst marks ever for high-volume shooters. And that's exactly his point. He knew his limits, so he stayed in his lane. Today, role players shooting 30% from deep launch 8 threes a night because a chart told them to. Missing 7 out of 8 isn't smart basketball. It's ugly basketball dressed up as genius. Load management has turned into a straight embarrassment. Players making $50 million can't go 2 games in a row. Fans save up for tickets just to watch stars sit in street clothes on the bench. Barkley played through injuries that would sideline modern players for months, battled bigger bodies every night, and never even considered sitting because he was sore. Steel workers clock in tired, beat up, and underpaid because that's what work is. Meanwhile, NBA players earn generational money to play a game and act like 4 days a week is torture. And when Dennis Rodman finally speaks, he doesn't sugarcoat a thing, he drops truth bombs that make certain fan bases absolutely lose their minds. And his take on how LeBron would survive in the 90s might be the most controversial opinion in NBA history. June 2013 on the Dan Patrick Show gave us Dennis Rodman's most explosive moment when he was asked to compare LeBron to players from his era. Rodman didn't hesitate. He flat out said LeBron James would be an average player in the 90s. Not great, not all-star level, just average among that competition. LeBron fans instantly brushed it off as jealousy, but Rodman was making a very specific point that most people completely missed. Back then, hand-checking was legal. Hard fouls were normal. The Jordan rules meant getting hit, grabbed, and punished on every drive to the rim. That wasn't dirty basketball, that was the environment. LeBron is bigger and stronger than most players, and in today's soft NBA, that's a cheat code. He barrels to the basket, defenders barely touch him, and the whistle blows. No hand-checking, no bodying him up, no real resistance on drives.
I'm just saying. LeBron was playing in the late 80s and the early 90s. He was just a player. I mean, what to do what Michael has done, I mean, dude, seriously, Michael did what he did is more charisma, so it's more articulate and stuff like that. LeBron's more like boom, okay.
Fans are students of the game as well. They're not just fans, you know. They know the game, and so you seeing players over there that you worked hard all week to earn money and to bring your family out for a family evening, and now they got sitting over there in sweats that's not even a team uniform, and it's like, really? Is this what I save my $800 for?
The lie detector later claimed Rodman was lying, and that became the headline. But that wasn't the point at all. This wasn't about whether Rodman himself could lock LeBron up one-on-one. The real point was that the physical play and nonstop mental warfare of the 90s would have neutralized LeBron's biggest advantages. His game is built on being stronger than defenders who are not allowed to touch him under modern officiating. In 2021, on the Full Send podcast, Rodman explained why he stopped watching basketball entirely. Everything that made the game intense, competitive, and physical has been stripped away. What's left is a shooting contest with no defense and no edge. Scottie Pippen has stirred controversy with his comments about Michael Jordan, but his criticism of modern basketball still hits hard, especially when it comes to how load management disrespects the fans who keep the league alive. January 2025 on the PBD podcast, Pippen delivered his clearest breakdown yet, paying $800 for a family of 4 just to watch stars sit on the bench in street clothes is straight robbery. And Pippen knows that pain because he gave fans everything every single night. He played through injuries that would sideline today's stars for months. He guarded the best perimeter players every game. He did the dirty work that never showed up on stat sheets. Load management didn't exist in his era. That same conversation also exposed how the obsession with three-point shooting shattered real team basketball, turning the game into something unrecognizable. The ball movement and sharp execution that once made basketball beautiful has been wiped out by the three-point obsession, and now teams just spread the floor and start firing like it's a shooting drill. That's not progress, that's regression, and everyone who actually loves the game can see it.
You know, I definitely feel like the three-point shot has turned fans away from the game because it's just no teamwork in shooting a three-point shot. There's no teamwork in coming down and taking a shot from behind the three-point line, but there's teamwork in coming down and executing a play.
August 2024 on his Ticket and the Truth podcast brought Garnett's destruction of that premise.
If I'm being honest, bro, I don't think anybody in this generation could have played like 20 years ago. If I'm being 100, and this is to everybody in our league, Tatum, all y'all. Let me tell y'all something, bro. 20 years ago, bro, you couldn't get to a triple step back.
No.
You hear what I'm saying to you? You couldn't get to a triple step back, and then if you shot that shit, it had to go in. Real shit, because I only think half these kids in the league could have been on an NBA team 20 years ago.
Kevin Garnett will occasionally defend modern players, but when he criticizes today's NBA, it's absolutely ruthless. And his response to Anthony Edwards claiming players from the 90s lacked skill became one of the most viral moments of 2024. In August 2024, on his Ticket and the Truth podcast, Garnett completely shredded that idea. According to Garnett, nearly 50% of today's NBA players wouldn't have even made a roster in his era. That's not clickbait, that's a real assessment from someone who lived through the grind. Hand checking was legal, hard fouls were expected, and defensive pressure bordered on brutal every single night. You couldn't dance into step-back threes or flop your way to free throws like today. October 19th, 2024 gave us Garnett's most precise criticism yet when he called out Joel Embiid. Back-to-backs account for about 15 games a season, and Embiid announced before the year even started that he wouldn't play them. Add in random rest nights and load management, and suddenly he's playing 50 games when he should be playing 82. Garnett played all 82 games 4 times in his career and logged at least 71 games in 12 of his first 13 seasons, all while bringing non-stop intensity that wore his body down. In February 2017 on NBA TV with Kevin McHale, Garnett explained how AAU basketball wrecked fundamentals and real team play. Entitlement defines modern players. They want success without earning it, respect without proving it, rest without first competing. AAU basketball created this culture by catering to stars and skipping fundamentals, accountability, and team concepts.
82 games, man. This is what the fucking job calls for. You're not practicing. You're not even playing a whole fucking, you don't play in the summer? Right. You see if you playing in the summer, you on the playground, you went to the Olympics, then it's training camp, y'all do 30 days of fucking tour days. Okay, that's when you get rest. Man, I don't want to hear this shit, man. I don't want to hear none of this shit.
And here's the truth nobody wants to hear. 6 Hall of Famers, 21 championships combined, 6 men who defined excellence across eras, and they all agree on one thing. Today's NBA is broken. Load management turned elite competition into part-time work. The three-point obsession erased creativity and turned every game into the same shooting contest. Super teams wrecked balance while half the league tanks and the other half chases stars. These legends played through injuries that would sideline modern stars for months and showed up every single night. And that's the difference nobody wants to admit. Because they understood their responsibility to fans who worked hard for those tickets. They built complete games instead of hiding behind one move. They built teams instead of chasing super teams. They put winning above branding and competition above comfort every single time. And that's exactly what the modern NBA lost.
The league now is at a point where you have to teach more than anything. AAU has killed our league. Seriously, I hate to even say this, but it's real. AAU has killed our league from the perspective that these kids are not being taught anything. They have intentions and they want things, but the way they see it is not how our league works.
No.
You earn everything in this league. You're not entitled to anything. And it's more entitlement than anything.
You can dismiss these legends as bitter old heads if you want. Say they're jealous of modern salaries or trapped in the past. Claim the game evolved beyond what they understand. Say whatever makes you feel better, but here's what you cannot argue with. The results. 21 championships. Basketball played the right way. Earned without forming super teams, without sitting out back-to-backs, without melting down on social media when criticized. They competed at the highest level every single night because that's what real champions do. The modern NBA being softer, less physical, less competitive, and less entertaining is not an opinion. It's an observable fact. Ratings are sliding. Attendance is slipping. Fans are tuning out because the product has become predictable and boring. And whether anyone in today's league has the courage to prove these legends wrong is still wide open. But based on everything we've seen so far, the answer feels clear. Today's players don't have the hunger, the toughness, or the mindset required to reach the standard these 6 champions set. And until someone decides to fix it, the NBA will keep drifting backward while the legends who built this league watch it unravel. If you care about real basketball, hit like, subscribe, and drop your thoughts in the comments because this debate is far from over.